From the time of his earliest memories as a child in Arkansas, Wray has loved horses. He used them as a means of travel in the 1950s, riding to see his friends. From his first exposure to cutting horses, Lewis was captivated, and even through his storied athletic career, he was always drawn back.
I coached high school football for over 40 years, and it was a great experience. I loved it. The education world was good to me. But I always look back on the horse, and the reason I did is because I really think there's such a correlation between the two. 90% of the trainers can train any horse to cut, but when they get that great one, that just brings the crowd down, it brings the people down. That's where, to me, the correlation between the athletic world and the horse industry, and especially the world of cutting, is unique. We came to the first fraternity in 1979, my wife and I, and it was just, the stadium was packed, it was a full house, it was almost like being at the Super Bowl. It was so unique. And the horse kept popping up. And so we got into pony pleasure. We rode pleasure horses for 2 or 3 years. We showed halter. As they got older, we got into the cutting industry. And it became the central part of our lives. And we enjoyed it. And it was very meaningful to us.
Lewis left coaching in 2005 after 40 years to devote more time to cutting and a new career in government. He took a job in the livestock division working for the state of Arkansas, a role he began during Governor Huckabee's tenure that continued through several administrations.
Between the time I spent in local government and the time I spent in the military, I started out as a second lieutenant in 1966. I ended up retiring in 2000 as a lieutenant colonel. And during that time, I had the privilege of actually moving up the ranks until I took over what is considered Fifth Army, which is Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, part of Mississippi, part of Colorado, and Oklahoma. I was the head of logistics for that area. So I worked with a staff of 200 all the way up to 6,500. And I think that prepared me to come on into the NCHA and work in the EC for a period of time, and then also as the president of the National Cutting Horse Association. The NCHA is a great organization. It's a great place to raise your family. It was a great journey for me. The journey of meeting people all the way across the United States and abroad. We reached so many people, and it was such a great journey for myself and my wife as we went through the NCHA and through EC to president and to the end.
Among his contributions to NCHA, Lewis says that working with Jody Gallion, Austin Shepard, Craig Thompson, and Jonathan Rogers to bring the unlimited amateur to fruition is one he's most proud of.
When I first got involved, Bobby Mayfield, that was the president at that time, appointed me to the amateur committee. Jody Gallion brought me a program that he had been working on, and he wanted me to look at it from an amateur standpoint and present it at the convention, not only to the membership, but also to the EC. It was brought in to bring the customers that had left our industry because they could not compete or they didn't have the time to compete back into the industry. And obviously it has. The thing that I really want them to really remember is that this was trainer driven. And the trainers and the non-pros and the amateurs are all one. And so, but that's where it really come from, and that's one of my best contributions to NCHA. I had a great journey as the president of NCHA. I had a great experience as the president of NCHA. I met people that I would have never met. I've made friends that I would never have met, and I'd like to thank the members of the NCHA for providing me with that opportunity to serve them as the president of the NCHA.